I'll hold these guys. So you happen to be in my down home place. Okay, this is a place I raise dogs and breed dogs and place them to their wonderful homes. Here we go. Arturo's getting my personal service dog. Her name's Nobo.
Yeah.
And the Nobo. Oh, sorry about that. Did you get left on the floor? You did.
And we got Patty coming to visit.
And this is Paddington. These are all Royal Frenchel Frenchies. And she's a super micro. And he is he's a small, well, top end micro and small. But listen, I'm not here just to talk about the dogs that I sell. I want to be useful to people. I really do. You know, for years, I've had people rave about my dogs with me and come to learn how I train, etc. And what happened as I contemplated it was the simplicity with which I do things with my dogs is rather extreme. I kind of keep some basic understandings. Number one, I'm definitely not as smart as I think I am, and they are probably smarter than I think they are. That's the first thing. So it keeps me always in kind of a quandary, considering what do the dogs think about, what are they needing? So instead of just getting immediately agitated, like people that start here for the first time or something like that might do, I'll think, why is that dog barking? What's up with it? What is it saying? What does it need? So that's, really a primary force in the relationship between me and my dogs. We have a first set of principles that operate with understanding that we both want to be together in life. We both want it to work, and we both want to live a good life, right? So I'm always looking for how to make that happen. So Royal Frenchel Frenchies started when the French Bulldog breed was having so many health issues, etc. I created Royal Frenchel Frenchies. Today, what we're going to do is go over, and by the way, let me just complete that for a moment and tell you that after 20 some odd years now, our Royal Frenchel Frenchies live 14 to 18 years on the average, and they have better than 10 times the health. From what we can see, and they are hypoallergenic, and they're just awesome dogs. They love to travel. They have a more chill factor, and they're highly intuitive, super intuitive dogs. When my daughter got cancer, it inspired the experience to create the breed because she needed a bulldog. I didn't feel confident at all, and bringing my dog to the hospital with her. She was a Frenchie. It would have put her at risk. And as I told my daughter, it'll be, a year to 18 months before she'll be in surgery if she jumps down off a chair or off the hospital bed. Those industrial settings just don't work. But today we're talking about really something Arturo has been after me to share with you all so strongly. Maybe what I'll do is let him introduce it, and I'll sit and vape. And by the way, I do vape. It is, I had a brain disease when I was a child, and I have actually a prescribed very small nicotine intake that I need to take on a daily basis, which is really helpful to me. And the material I use is very safe and safe for the dog. So I just want you to be aware of that. I am monitored by a doc. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Arturo, as she said. We work here and we have a pretty regular, simple life. We care for the dogs and give them love, and we help them prepare for beautiful homes and families, which we do very successfully. We hear back from our families that they're so in love and their lives have changed when they get our dogs. And I get the joy and privilege of meeting with them to hear how that goes. And it makes me think often, like, well, Anahata shares her secret sauce is this 5-minute hands-on play, which if you haven't seen it, it's really worth watching. Oh, go ahead.
Put him down just a minute. He's asking to get down. Okay, there you go.
But there's this soulful presence they have that everybody remarks about when they see them. People walk around with a Royal and they become celebrities because everyone stops them. It's like, what kind of dog is that? So there are things we do here that Anahata does that are so precious and so dear and so soulful that I'm so happy to be part of it. Like, I love when we name puppies. I love when she does pup descriptions, because it is this deep, soulful witness of this little being here, and it is a nourishing thing to be part of. So I just told her, look, this is like what we do. It would be so great for people to see and hear it, because people have appreciated the descriptions we put on the site, and they're very true. I mean, it's not like we're trying to predict the future, but people call us back and they say, oh my God, the dog was so much what you said and more. And I just thought you guys would enjoy, this audience would enjoy seeing and being part of that as we do that. So
first of all, it's really important to just kind of think yourself. If you are in a crowd, right, and you're in a group, let's say you're in a class of some kind, and you're considered class 1, okay? And the leader comes in and says, all right, class 1, do X, Y, Z. And class 1, front row, you speak. And they look at you like that and they tell you to speak. And you're like, okay, is that me? Yeah, okay, well, let me do that. Well, I want you to consider that for a moment. And now consider someone coming in and saying, what's your name? Hearing everybody's name, starting the class, and then asking Mary, what would you like? And having Mary share. And I'm not about what you like or whatever the topic was, right? The idea is that, life thrives on witness. If you don't witness a human child, if you don't touch it, talk to it, acknowledge its presence, it dies. Okay? It's the same with all life. In some major way, this thing we call witness, or noticing or acknowledging a life in its uniqueness, is really, it's primary. It's enormous. And I happen to think that these small, subtle realities make a huge difference in the results to our lives and to whoever we live with, work with, care for, and believe in. And so when we have a litter, what I do is I work with, first of all, observing them, noticing them, enjoying them. Of course, puppy breath is like hands down the best thing in the world, right? And then what I do is I do a naming ritual, and I look deeply into the dog's eyes, and I just lose myself in them. And it takes a little while for those eyes to come forward. Sometimes this happens earlier. I'm highly intuitive. The brain difference I had to rely on my intuition heavily when I had my brain disease and I couldn't walk or get through doorways and things. I lost all ability to navigate my body for quite some time. And so I had to use my intuition all the time. And it served me with my animals tremendously. So the first thing I do is look in their eyes and wait till they're about some period of time older, where their eyes are nice and clear. So I can look in their eyes, and then I just get lost in them and I just hang out there for a minute, kind of like the way you are if you're sitting in a waiting room somewhere and you just kind of look around and you notice the furniture style or the magazine or somebody's shoes or something like that, right? Well, you can do the same thing with your animal. You can sit down and really consider going deeply into that animal and actually making a difference in what you know about them or what you take in about them by just being present in the waiting room of your souls together. And so that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to do a pup description the way I do it. And the way I do that is I stay with that. And then I begin to simply open up to who this dog is. And they all have incredibly unique personalities and mannerisms in terms of like the things they like, the things they're apt to do or want to do, enjoy, etc. So we actually did a show yesterday and we were all screwed up, not prepared, and unfortunately it didn't air. So I'm going to do it again, same pup. So I did this yesterday. This little gal, I'm going to do it again though, so there may be a little difference, and I'm not sure. Let me just see here. Good morning. Good morning, Wrigley. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you're such a good gal. I'm just going to let you take a look into her eyes. Just take a moment and think about, what do you see in her eyes? What kind of person is she? Just be. Okay, now, Wrigley Joe is, and I call her Jojo. Little Jojo is an incredibly dedicated little gal. She's a gal that will enjoy outdoors. She'll have fun, but her main love is going to be by your side, in the kitchen, wherever you are. She's going to be interested in the core activities of her human. She won't be as adventurous as some others, because not that she is underconfident at all. It's just not her bag. It's like some people like football, some people don't. She's like that. She just likes to be indoors. She's a gentle nature, very gentle nature. Little Jojo will be an amazing, amazing friend. She will love travel. She's gentle-hearted. She'll be excellent if somebody's sick in the family. She'll cuddle up next to them. All Royals are very affectionate. And I grade the dogs on an activity level between 0 and 10. And Royal's activity level is generally around a 5.4. That's the average. And Wrigley is just about a 5.3, 5.4. I call her Jojo. Like I said, her name's Wrigley Joe, just so I don't confuse you, because I named her because I said Wrigley again. But essentially, Jojo is just a warm heart from top to bottom. That's basically her whole gig in life. She loves it. She loves to have a good day. She loves to do well. You'll be able to train her to anything super easily. Very smart gal, but doesn't have to lead, doesn't have to be the top banana. However, she would definitely hold the line. She would definitely do things that are important to the family. Like, she would definitely be interested if somebody new came in. She would observe it. She would let you know if she thought there was an issue. She wouldn't take any action except to come let you know, and you would know it by some uncomfortable behavior she might display, or that sort of thing. So yeah, so that's little Jojo. She will love music, but again, if her human leaves the room while the music's on, she's out the door too.
Hey, if you have any questions also, please feel free to make a comment. We can see your comments and we can respond to them also. Yeah, write anything you want there on the chat. We're going to be doing these every day. And, talking about the way of dogs, right? That's the whole thing. I want to be of service to you all who are dog lovers. And I also want to share about Royal Frenchel Frenchies, because they are a really unique breed. They're predominantly Frenchie and Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and they do have other breeds in them as well. So I just want you to be aware of that. It is not just two breeds put together. It's been over 25 years in the making. They have established themselves beautifully, and they are the smallest bulldogs in the world as well. We have one called a super micro, and that just took top billing this year in terms of the most unusual breed out there, to really make it in such a healthy fashion. Again, 14 to 18 years they live, and they're pretty awesome dogs. Okay, so this little one, this is Ducky Valentine. One of my favorite names. Yeah, Arturo loves the names. I love these names. So this is Ducky.
I just show you, he's just a pretty little thing.
Yeah, Ducky. Girl. She's a good girl.
She is. She's just the best. I just show you for a minute her little belly. It's such a cute thing. All right. So Ducky, well, what can I say? When I named her, I just totally loved the match that happened. The names just come to me when I'm looking at them in that way I described earlier. So I'm going to just look for a minute and tell you about Ducky. And then I'll share the eyes with you as well. Good girl, Ducky. Okay, so this is Ducky Valentine. I'm going to just let her eyes get up in there for you to see better. And I'm going to, let me see if I get an increase. Oh, yeah, that's much better for you. So look at those eyes. I want to show you the difference between the eyes. So number one, Ducky is going to be much more adventurous. It's going to be she's going to be a little more active. She'll be first to the door, excited to see what's out there. She will be up for the adventure faster than little Jojo or Wrigley. And she will also be very quick to notice things in the house that are different. If somebody gets sick, you probably would know fast with this little one. She's just observes everything. If you lose your keys, I wouldn't even doubt that she'd probably find them first. She's that kind of gal, very smart, very much wanting to be of service, but also of service for the adventure. Okay, so Royal Frenchel Frenchies are a little different than regular Frenchies because they are a tad, well, can be quite more chill. They're affectionate, but they don't own you. Frenchies come from the Bulldog lines, of course, right? And they typically are territorially oriented. So, you know, everybody thinks they're great companions, and they are. But the thing is, their companionship is really not understood. It's really in their minds that they own you. And they're with you because they're with you and you are theirs. A Royal Frenchel is a little different. A Royal Frenchel is all about relationship, not territory. So they are very clear about their relationships, and they are not stuck on just one person. They are very much lovers of people. They adore children, and they all love travel. So this little gal is going to love travel even a little more than Wrigley Joe because of being more adventurous. She also has a sharper intellect on top of things. In other words, she's just a little bit more of an administrator and strategist than Jojo is. So and again, will be highly affectionate, be great to travel with, and super easy to train. So yeah, let's see if we have any comments down there, Arturo, so that if people have something to.
She just asked how old Jojo was, and I wrote 3.5 weeks old.
3.5 weeks old. Well, actually 4 weeks now. Yeah. So little Joe, this is one litter. They're all 4 weeks old. They're brothers and sisters. I'm going to let Arturo do this one. And then I'm going to add to it, and you can add to it. You can tell me what you see on the things. And maybe if I need to hold the eyes up a little longer, I'll be happy to. I really know this sounds foolish to so many people, but it's really not foolish, folks. Remember, witness is the doorway to a true blossoming in life. When we witness anyone and believe in them and name them and notice their intricacies, their the special behaviors that they do and the things they like, and we respond to it, showing them that, who doesn't love a person that does that, right? I mean, if you are there and you get that kind of care, don't you love someone who does that for you? You know, treats you well, is interested in you, has a special fun name for you that you like, things like that. So, you know, these are powerful subtleties in life that can make a huge difference in the daily ability to persevere and to be able to enjoy more in life, have a broader view. So Arturo's been looking at this little one's eyes.
This is Dasha Riggs.
Dasha Riggs.
I'll give you a chance to look.
I'm gonna turn her that way a little. There you go. Hi, Dasha. Hi, Dasha. Hi, little girl. Oh, my darling. Such a good girl.
So what I see in Dasha is she is very perceptive.
Here, put her up so they can see.
She's very perceptive. She's aware of everything in the environment, even at this little age. At this young age, she's tracked everything. She's interested in the computer now. So she's extremely smart. We like to call them like executive nature kind of dog, like a dog that's a leader, a dog that's going to track you. It's going to be an amazing companion, like someone who will follow. She'll know what you're up to before you even think you're going to do it. She's that kind of dog. She'll know you grab your keys and she knows where you're going, and she's ready to go and will be right there next to you. She'll sit next to you while you're working and observe what you're doing and notice things. She's extremely, extremely smart like that. What else about you, Dasha?
I can give you some.
Yeah.
So the kind of leadership he's identifying is not a dominance in terms of dominant with other dogs or anything like that. She is a person who takes her job seriously, and that is going to be tracking her human and knowing what humans come in and out, becoming friends with them. She's got an extremely gentle nature, this dog, similar to Jojo. But her task, as she will view it, is to really be the best she can be in her human's world and the two of them develop a culture together. And that's her big deal. She wants to be very good at that. And that's, really quite sincere. She's a little gal. She's not going to be a big gal at all. She's a micro. And maybe a small, but I think right now she's still sizing up as a micro. And that's pretty small. That's like the size of a football, essentially. It's about, 10 to 12 inches high and long. And basically the way we measure Royal Frenchels is not by weight, because bulldogs can have a dense muscle weight. And so you can have a smaller one than a bigger one, and it'll weigh more, with the muscle density being higher. So what I do is measure floor to shoulder and nape of neck to the base of tail. And those are the measurements that we use. And you can see them on the website under the pricing tab at the top. You can take a look at that there. People talk about how much our dogs are. Well, listen, they are. That's just the truth. The state of Washington has been very, very tough on breeders. Veterinarians have gone corporate everywhere. 44 vets in our local area have gone corporate. And the whole world has changed dramatically here in the state of Washington, anyway, over the last several years for vet care. And it's just become exorbitant. Like, a C-section today is $4,000 to $6,000, and these little ones don't have many in one litter. Also, we give tremendous care to a very specific type of training 6 days a week called the Love Bucket training. All pups get 45 minutes to an hour, minimum 6 days a week, and during that time, there are very specific things that I have that's a proprietary method to really get that brain started up on relationship and companionship in a really wonderful way. And also the ability to connect with other animals and other dogs of different generations. So they're around larger dogs, smaller dogs, bigger dogs, and older dogs, which really makes a big difference in their capacity to take the world in and be appropriate with it, have manners in it, and function the way you want them to, from the get-go. And that's one of the things we really focus on a great deal. So our customers end up with their dogs for life. It's heartbreaking to see dogs not raised well and placed, and then they're there for 2 to 3 months. The person says, oh my God, I worked too hard. I can't do this. And they get rid of the dog. The dog then is older, gawky looking, etc. Doesn't get a home right away, ends up in some shelter somewhere, maybe gets taken again, then something happens there. And it's just really, really, really a tough life. So I do my best here to create a situation where the dog really can put its roots down very quickly and trust the socialization process with a new person. And yeah, it's worked really, really well. We have the lowest rate in the country for people who replace their dogs. And we have over a 65% return, where customers come back to us and get a second one, which is kind of fun. And we actually have one family that has 9 in their whole family unit of a couple generations. So yeah, they have quite a Thanksgiving, I'll tell you. They all get together with their dogs, and maybe one day they'll jump on with us. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Be fun to have Jerry with us. Anyway,
So,
okay.
we have a question here. Let's
yeah,
answer
what's
that
the
question. What is her birthday and who is her mommy? Milana asks that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's her birthday is February 19th, 2025, obviously. And her mommy is a gal named Pixie, who is my dog's granddaughter. No, it's her daughter. It's her daughter. So this is her granddaughter. Yeah. Anyway, so she's related to Whimsy, who is a dear, dear, dear old
and
family.
she's got this Whimsy love.
She does have the Whimsy love. Yeah, she does. Great question.
Whimsy is the name that Arturo's dog is. It's her grandmother. Yeah.
All right. I was thinking also just one more comment about her, because it's fun to think of them like if they were like a high school kid or a kid on the playground. She would be the one who came up with the game, and she might even add like a new feature to the game that's really fun, so everyone could have a good time. So she likes to have a good time too. And then when it was time to go, she would be like right there. She's a really good student. She wants to do very well. So Dasha Riggs.
All right, now we got another one, Biggs. Let me show you Biggs. Now Biggs is going to end up one of our breeding girls, but I thought I'd show her to you because boy, excuse me, I've got her confused every day. I do the same thing and he corrects me every day. Okay, why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right.
No gooseneck.
Yeah, no gooseneck. I'm sorry. Let me just bring him a little closer so you guys can see him.
Oh, Biggs, you good boy.
It says Biggs O'Reilly. Now this guy, he's easy to fall in love with. Let's put it that way. He's just got such a huge openness for all beings, for all people. He'll be the friendliest guy on the block. He'll go up to meet people. He'll probably, just like his grandma, just lay on his back and look for a belly rub. He's gonna love snuggling. He'll put his paw on you while you're resting on the couch, and he'll might lay upside down on you. He's just all snuggle love, and then happy bursts.
And he likes water.
And
this boy likes water. Yeah, he'll enjoy water things for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he's going to be amazing. He would be amazing with kids. Mm-hmm. He could have like 10 kids on him trying to pet him, and he would just sit there and teach him all about being loving, compassionate beings. This is his whole way. He's like water. You're right. He loves water, and he's like water. That's how I see him.
Yeah, he'll definitely get into every crevice of your heart. Yeah, and
that's a good comment.
Yeah, and he is available. I'm sorry, he is not one of our studs. Yeah. I have dogs from that line, so I'm good with that. But he would make. Now you're going to see here that he has a different coat. He's a silky, which means it's a tiny bit longer. But what it does mean is the texture of the coat is different. It's much softer. Years and years ago, I started the silkies, and eventually people in the Frenchy community copied me and called them fluffies. So in the French world, it's either called a fluffy or a silky. And we just maintained our original because, it just simply is the way it was. But very, very soft. Now, Royal Frenchels today typically do not have that super textured coat that they used to have in all Frenchies, or that you find in Frenchies. Our Royal Frenchels are much softer. However, the silkies, and they can look like a regular coat or a silky like this, and they are much softer. So it's quite marked. It's like silk. It really is. It's just so lovely. I have my little gal is a silky as well. So, yeah. So, well, we're almost over here. It's 12:29. We're doing a half an hour a day. Happy to answer any question if you have any. Anyone have a question here? We'd love to respond to you. And if you do, look us up on Royal Frenchel, Anahata at royalfrenchel.com. Just send me a note or call us at 360-561. Oh, no, 360-515-3717. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Really, every day we're going to have some fun. I'm going to share some really wonderful things from my over 50 years of breeding and get to know you all. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And have a great day.
All righty.
Oh, look. Brenda said something.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right. Much
All right.
love to you all.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.